everybody. Welcome back to Golden Dragon Honey. I'm Chris, your beekeeper. We're in Portland, Maine for Gusters on the Ocean weekend, of course. I can't come through Portland without stopping in at the Honey Exchange. This is where your beekeeper first took my beginner's beekeeping classes, where I first got interested in beekeeping. Come on inside with me. Let's go take a look, everybody. Step into the right of the door, and you're in the gift shop. Clothes, kitchenware, books, and food. And of course, a wall of honey and tinctures. Step into the left, and you're by the register in the area where they sell beekeeping equipment. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around with us. I'm here at the Honey Exchange, and I'm here with Certified Master Beekeeper and co-owner of the Honey Exchange, Phil Gavin.
Hello.
Thanks for making time for us, Phil.
Pleasure.
When I started keeping bees, whenever I talked about it, everybody's first question is, why? Tell us about the beginning of your
oddity. So I had a period in my life where I was allowed to be a stay-at-home dad, and I may have had a little too much time on my hands. And I was doing a little bit of part-time work, and I had very little work to do, and a friend of mine gave me a big stack of New Yorker magazines, and I read a long article about what was then called colony collapse disorder. And I thought, this seems like a big deal, and thought maybe I could be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And so I thought I'd get a beehive, and I'd be a hobbyist beekeeper with one hive in the back garden. And like I think you've discovered, it becomes almost a sickness where there's so much that's interesting. There's so many things that are counterintuitive. Like if you had asked 20-year-old Phil, do you think you would enjoy standing next to a beehive talking to Chris? I would have said, no, why would one do that? And yet I find this more relaxing and restful than almost anything in the world. Once you realize these bees are not out to menace us, then you try to understand what is it they're doing, and every answer is fascinating to me. Like with each new layer that you uncover, there's another layer of fascination below that. And then eventually you get down to the bottom layer where we don't actually know all the answers. And I really like that there's I'm gonna learn something new until the day I die. And B, I'm gonna go to my grave without having unwrapped all the mysteries of this fascinating little society. So it just becomes part of who you are. I can't conceive of my life without having a beehive in it.
And I feel the same way. I was really excited when I first started keeping bees that you said you were a certified master beekeeper. At what point in your journey did you decide that was sort of a path for you? And can you tell us a little bit about that process?
I can. So we opened the shop before I was certified, and I felt that I knew a lot of the answers. But then I thought, why would people believe me if there isn't someone else saying that Phil actually knows what he's talking about? And so I got involved in the process with the Eastern Apicultural Society, and you have to demonstrate, well, first of all, you have to be keeping bees for 5 years before they'll even talk to you. And so I got to that point, and then there's just a lot of study, and I was fortunate that my mentor, she was a master beekeeper. She was one of the first in Maine, Erin Evans. And she would get study groups together, and we would just learn everything we can for this exam. The exam has 4 parts. The first part is an oral exam, which they just throw questions at you as though you're talking to a reporter, or you're talking to a student, or you're talking to a nervous neighbor. And I realized I spend every day at the Honey Exchange studying for that part of the exam, because it's literally what I do every day. So that part was fairly straightforward. Then there's a written exam. I learned from going to college that I'm actually really good at taking written exams. It makes me appear smarter than I actually am. So I did pretty well on that one. And then there's a practical exam where you go out and open a beehive with one of the master beekeepers, and they want you to act as though they're not a beekeeper and just talk them through each and everything you're doing. And that too, I had gotten a lot of practice here at the Honey Exchange, just talking about what's going on here, what's going on in the observation hive. Then the really hard one is the practical exam, where you walk into a room and there's 100 things arrayed around the room, and they could be anything from a microscope slide with a disease on it to a photograph of something that's going wrong, antiquated beekeeping equipment where you just try to make a guess of what use it had. And so that was, I think, for me, the most challenging part of it was just trying to, you don't know what to expect, so you got to go in prepared for kind of anything. What is this? So it was, I found it, I kind of love taking tests because I'm a huge nerd, so it worked for me.
I get the thing about the written test. I test well, and I often think people think I'm a little brighter than I actually am.
Who got a 4?
Thank you so much. We appreciate you making time. Guys, if you're here in Portland, Maine, please stop in at the Honey Exchange. See my friend Phil and tell him Chris the Beekeeper sent you.